Hello, everybody, for Friday's Daily Encouragement featuring Sarah, my wife, and our kids are over there. Everybody's been cooped up at home this week, including us, and I know that's difficult for a lot of families, dealing with just new realities and things. So today's encouragement is, it's just amazing how much the scripture talks about God being our dwelling place. And so that's the theme of today's encouragement, is the scriptures, particularly Psalm 90, that says, Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. So I wrote up a little blog this morning. You can find it at the website hffbc.org/encouragements. And I encourage you to read that and find comfort in that. As we spend a ton of time in our own dwelling places, more so than most of us are used to, that we would find hope that our true dwelling place is with God. And when we find our true hope in Him, and remember that we are living in His house, in His kingdom, that we are His priests, that we have hope, and that we can be light and peace no matter where we are, including with our kids when chaos is happening. So I know Sarah, we mentioned, what's an encouraging word Sarah could say. So pass it off to her for a second.
Yeah, so I know that there are many parents out there that are taking on an additional job right now of homeschooling, and just wanted to let you guys know that we're praying for you. We certainly have taken on that challenge as well with pre-K and preschool, and just finding alone time and time in the Word seems to be more of a challenge now, adding this additional job. So we're praying for you. Know that we're here to be able to talk to you guys on the phone or somehow encourage you. So let us know how we can be help to you. And if there are any specific things that we can be praying about, let us know. We'd love to have more specific things to be praying for. And something that I've just been taking encouragement in is that we're all in this together. We're all doing the same thing. And so that's something that I've just had to find encouragement in.
And let's be real, sometimes proximity, being with people all the time, can be really challenging. And tensions can rise high, either with your spouse or with your family. And just know that if you've said things this week to your spouse or your kids that you regret, you're probably not alone. It's okay to say, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. And that's what Psalm 90 reminds us, is that we're all dust, we're frail, we need God, we're sinners, but God is so gracious. And so be gracious to one another, just as I've been trying to send some encouragements to you, and Grant has been encouraging you via these emails and videos and links. Do that to one another. We've seen evidences of that. I know there's been email chains going around and phone calls being made. So encourage one another during this season as we try to provide these encouragements to you. One last thing we want to talk about. We're almost at our limit here because our kids are starting to ask for us. One last thing we want to mention to you. We have a free resource that's been provided for us for local churches around the country, around the world, which is a really great resource that we want to talk about. And it's actually called the Dwell app. So as we've been talking about today, our encouragement is our dwelling place. There's actually an app called Dwell. And Sarah actually has used it before I even used it. Yeah. And so I want to let her explain a little bit how she's used it and what she's found from it.
It's a really great app. As I mentioned, have found just in this new reality a challenge to actually sit down physically with my Bible. It just, for whatever reason, just seems like as soon as I sit down, I've got a child wanting me or asking a question or a distraction. So something that I've been doing with this Dwell app, and this has happened for several weeks now, months actually, is that I've just been trying to be more engaged in listening to scripture. And sometimes it's been really great, and sometimes it's just been kind of a background noise, but I still find that it's been really helpful. One of the really beautiful things about this app is that they've even have series, so they've pulled together components of Psalms or Proverbs for encouragement, series, or they've got a series on Matthew or Isaiah. That's actually the one that I'm working on right now, and it's just been really refreshing to listen to scripture. And one of the things that I've been thinking through actually is, how can I get my kids to be doing this as well? And so even when we're having quiet time or we're doing some arts and crafts, being able to pull up Isaiah and say, hey, mom's going to listen to her scripture reading this morning, and why don't you guys listen along? It just is a nice background for us to all be doing together.
You can use it in so many ways. And I mean, some people, I know there's some working dads that are just looking for an escape during the middle of the day. And this may be a great time just to put on some headphones and go take 5 minutes and just escape and hear from God, and let his word dwell in you richly, as Paul says in Colossians. So yeah, it's really neat. It usually costs a couple of bucks a month to do this, but Dwell is providing it free for churches to offer to their congregations. So we've done that. So if you go to our website, the encouragements page again, you can find a link that will send you directly to a web page where you can log in through our HFFBC component for free. And it lasts for 60 days. So after 60 days, at least right now, then you'd have to pay for it. But hopefully that'll get you through most of this. We'll see. But let that encourage you during these days ahead. So God bless you. One of the other scriptures I want to leave you with is that God is the fountain of life. In him we find our hope and all our joy. And so let that be your encouragement as you're cooped up on this Friday. Usually Fridays are super exciting because you have the weekend at the end. Every day kind of feels the same when you're all cooped up at home. So just know we're praying for you and encouraging you. Have a great Friday. Talk to you soon.
Bye.